Hello everybody, it's everyone's favourite feisty feline, Xephas Gracepaws here, and today we're back with another Rantpaws. It's been a little while since the last because honestly, they tend to be kind of negative, and I tried to avoid doing it too often because it's, very ranty, hence the title, and also kind of self-indulgent. But we are back, and today I want to talk about something that I see far too often on places like the Furry subreddit, among others. And that is the whole concept of coming out as a furry. So what is coming out as a term? So it's generally used by the LGBT community as kind of a way of telling friends and family about your identity. So that's a term if you're not aware of before, you may have heard of in terms of coming out as gay, coming out as bi, trans, lesbian, to friends, family. It's generally used in that sense. I'm not sure of the exact origin of the term, but I know that it is mostly used in the LGBT community, and that's where it kind of then starts to leak into the furry community. So I know a lot of vast majority of furries also identify as LGBT, and the problem with that is that the term sort of coming out has kind of leaked over into the furry fandom. So being a furry is a hobby. I mean, I know people will disagree with me, but being a furry is a hobby, and you don't come out regarding a hobby. Could you imagine someone going up to their parents and be like, yeah, mum, dad, I play football. It's a hobby. You don't come out as being a fan of a hobby because, being into something is kind of, ultimately there's a element of just you're into what you're into, but ultimately hobbies are kind of a choice, and coming out is generally referred to as something that you don't have a choice over. Your identity is not something that you have a choice over. It's something that you are, not something you choose. So yeah, the idea of coming out as a furry, there's something about it that just doesn't really sit right with me. I hate to see the phrase oh, I came out as a furry today, and it's no. I mean, a lot of these, I've seen some things on the furry Reddit where people will claim that they came out as a furry because they both came out as a furry and as gay, for example, and that's fine in that instance because they are also coming out as gay. But if you are a furry and you are coming out as a furry, i.e. telling your friends and family that you are a furry, I personally wouldn't refer to that as coming out, and I don't particularly feel comfortable with that term being used for someone who is telling people about their hobby of the furry fandom. Now, of course, by all means, tell people that you're a furry, be proud of the things you're into, and, don't let anybody kind of bully you into feeling ashamed for what you're into. I know furries get a lot of bad reputation. For some reason, furries were seen as the butt of every joke when it comes to anything on the internet. It's haha, you're a furry, your argument's invalid because you're a furry, haha, furry profile picture. I think it's kind of, at least in my lifetime, it's starting to become more acceptable in that as the fandom grows, it becomes less of a taboo subject because it's bigger, and I think a lot more people understand what it is, whether they're a member of the furry fandom or not. They kind of, because of the size of the fandom as it is now, it means that people are a lot more knowledgeable about it. Yeah, I mean, if you do something, you take pride in it, you shouldn't really be ashamed of that. But yeah, just don't use the term coming out because it's generally reserved for things, LGBTQ+. So there we go, this was a little bit of a shorter Rantpaws, and yeah, I apologise that it's out late. I was very tired this week and didn't have time to make this, so I just popped this together. But next week's video check out that. That's going to be really good. I've been planning this one for a while. So those are just a few of my thoughts on the concept of coming out as a furry. Thank you all for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.